Welcome back to this third video. At the end of the previous video we'd finished with our chain, our first chain, length of chain that we'd made, and I had 10 chains on my hook. I've just added an 11th one because this video is going to show you how to do single crochet, and so we want to create a row of 10 single crochet stitches. So I need an 11th chain up here so that it gives me the height to make the stitch. It'll become a little bit clearer once I've done a row, and then we go back and do a second row. So we'll just count before we begin because we want to have 10 stitches. So we'll just count these chains: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this extra one at the top, 11. So again, holding the yarn like we did at the beginning to give us some tension, and holding the last stitch before the loop that's on your hook. We always end up with a loop left on our hook, so in between, if you're putting your project down, make sure you've got that secured on your hook. Otherwise, if I take my hook off and this yarn pulls, all my chains are going to come undone. So for this single crochet, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hook while it's still got this one loop on it, and we're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So that's the first chain there, second, and you can see with the V's, there's, the way I'm holding it now, you can see a top and a bottom part of the V and a hole. So we're just going to put our hook through the top part of this sideways V. So I'm going to thread my hook through there, leaving this loop on the hook here, take it through, and now we've got this space to yarn over. So we go underneath the yarn like we did with the chain, and then we're going to pull that through that existing chain stitch. Now you can see we've got 2 loops on our hook. Then what we're going to do is do another yarn over, so yarn over, and we're going to pull through both loops, and that's just formed our first single crochet. I'm just going to try and turn the stitch. This sort of neon coloured yarn is sort of quite reflective in this light, and you can see we've formed another V on the top of our first single crochet. So we're going to do that again. And we're going to work our way back down the chain, back towards the tail where that slip knot was right at the beginning. So we're working always, when we're right-handed, from right to left. So let's do that again. So I'm going to find the next chain. So I'm going to carefully look, where's the next chain? That piece of the V. You can see we're just going under one side, one loop. So we're going to thread, we've got one loop still on our hook, threading our hook through that loop there of the chain, yarn over. Let me just move that yarn out of the way so it's easier to see. Let me do that again. So we're going to take our hook with the loop and pop it through our chain, leaving this loop here, yarn over, pull it through our chain. Now we've got 2 loops, and again another yarn over and through 2, and that forms the single crochet. So that's what they start to look like. There we go. So we're going to work our way down the chain. So here's our next chain, through with the hook, leaving that loop on, yarn over, pull it through. Now we've got 2 loops, and then we yarn over again through those 2 loops to form our stitch. So we've got this sort of V pattern in the front, and then all the V's along the top of our stitches there. So let's keep going. We're going to work our way down, and then we're going to count. So again, just checking where that chain opening is. We can see that's the next chain. Through we go. Whoops, missed that one. Yarn over, pull it through. We've got 2 loops. Yarn over through both. and we're just going to keep on going down. All the way down. Myself a bit more yarn. Through the chain, yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, through 2. Through the chain, yarn over, pull it through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, through both of those, and all the way down. Nearly there. And there's our last one before our knot, our slip knot at the end. So through this one here. Starting to regret the colour of this yarn. Last 2 loops on the hook and through we go. So that's our row of single crochet. Now we're going to count it. So we're going to count from this end here. Again, we're going to look at the top of the stitch here where these V's are, and we're going to count them. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Excellent. So we've done the correct number of stitches. What we're going to do now, we're going to do another row of single crochet, and we're going to work back into the top of these stitches. So what we do when we get to the end of our row is we're going to turn our work over. So we're going to turn it over. So that's the back. All right. Again, remember we're always working from right to left. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. It's called a chain 1. Again, to bring us up that height. So we need to bring off at the beginning of our row, doesn't matter what stitch we're doing. We need to give ourselves the height to come up, the height that the stitch is going to be. So with singles, it's a single. Now, when we're going to stitch into this row of single crochet, you can see where that V is at the top. And I really need my camera to focus a lot better. There we go. That's better. So we can see that's our chain, our 1 chain, and this is our first single crochet. So we need to go under both loops of that stitch. So remember we go through first. So I've gone under both loops of that V. I'm going to go yarn over and pull it through, 2 loops, through. So that's when we're working a single crochet into a row of single crochet stitches. So again, we can see this next stitch here with this V, and we're going to go under both parts of the V on the top of the stitch, like that. My hook is, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see the 2 parts of that stitch. I can get them to come apart. There. So it's gone under both of those. That's what it looks like at the front. Then I'm going to yarn over, pull through. Again, we've got 2 loops back on our hook and through both. Now we have 2 single crochet. So again, all the way down, so under that V on the top. There are other variations of stitching into which part of the loop, but that's just going to overcomplicate this video. So to keep everything simple, for all the stitches, we're always going to stitch, put our hook through both of those loops of the V, like that. Yarn over, pull through, there we go. And again, all the way down. Just keep going. Oops. Yarn over, pull through. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and through both. all the way down. And sometimes you get all tangled up in the parts of the yarn, so take the hook out and start that one again. Through 2, hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull it through, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over through both, all the way across. That's the end of our second row, and as we come to the end, you can see our single crochet there with a V and that chain that I did there. So that chain on the edge there doesn't count as a stitch in this particular row. So we just get that last 2 loops under that last V, yarn over, through 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, through both. And now we have 2 rows. Let me see if I can get this camera to focus in again. There we go. 2 rows of single crochet. I'm going to come in a bit closer, and that's what they look like. So this is the front of a row. We always have a row when I'm doing the swatch, that'll be the front, and this is the back side of the previous row because we turned our work. So that's it for now. Always pays to count, so again we're ignoring this chain on the end here. We need to count. We've got 10. Let me turn it so it's easier to see our V's to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wonderful, so we have the same number of stitches in both rows, and that's our single crochet stitch. Welcome to come back for the next video to learn our next stitch. See you there.